Well, good morning. Early start, Belfast Airport, heading to Birmingham to the CamperVan show. Now, the last couple of years we've been here, it's been more about having a bit of fun around the campervans and dreaming of what may be. This year, we're a little bit more serious. Yep, time to potentially buy a campervan.
That's everyone on board. The doors are closed. We are just over 15 minutes ahead of schedule. Flight time to Birmingham is estimated at 40 minutes, including 25,000 seats. Conditions like generally should be nice as reserved. Weather in Birmingham was wrong, it's not too bad. Fresh breeze at the moment from the west. Forecast get quite blustery every time that weather we have the window overnight here, moving its way across the mainland.
So here we are, Costa Coffee, Birmingham arrivals. Birmingham International arrivals. We've just flown over from Belfast and we're just about to head into the caravan and campervan show. Not our first time here, we've been here a couple of times before, but before it's always been about having a little bit of fun. In fact, we bought a tent here a couple of years ago, had some good trips in it, but this is the first year that we're actually serious about potentially picking up a campervan. So the last couple of weeks we have been coming up with a list of questions. First and foremost, we've been asking ourselves some things that we're not prepared to compromise on, because of course at a show like this what you can quite often do is get sidetracked by the glitz and the glam and the big vans and the stuff that's just way out of your budget. So we have a list of things that we're not prepared to compromise on. Then we have a list of things that, if the van's right, generally, some things that we may compromise on. And then finally, a bunch of questions that obviously we want to ask to the various retailers. So it should be an interesting day. We're only here for one day, flying back home to Belfast tonight, but yeah, hopefully we're going to be just that little bit closer to deciding the type of campervan that we want. Let's get going. So I've lost a wife in the 7+ meter campervan place. Never a good place to lose a wife. We need to get her back to the sub 6 meter campervan place right now. So I'm actually wondering if I just locked myself in the campervan. Squatters' rights, they would have to just let me stay in it, wouldn't it? This is the Bailey Approach 615. And while when I first came to the show I wasn't overly enamored with the rear lounge, I'm starting to like the rear lounge. Mainly because the locations we're going to be visiting are going to have inclement weather. Chilling out in a little rear lounge, maybe. So we almost bought a Bailey Advance 615, probably the best van we've seen. Not a panel van, which is what I kind of thought I wanted, but a low profile coach built. Well, this has been so far a very exhausting day. And also a very confusing day, and at times a very demoralizing day. I'm not sure we're any closer to knowing what we really want. What do you think?
I think for what would work perfectly, our budget is just nowhere near enough. So it's trying to find where we make compromises to save money, but also not to impact on what we're trying to do.
And let's also face facts. There's a certain little bundle of fluff that's complicating matters. Because if it wasn't for our cat, Guinness, and I'll show you a picture of her here, that's Guinness. As cute as she is, she's complicating matters because...
She's adding about £15,000 to the van. And
she's probably going to live for another 15 months maybe. It's a lot per month per cat. So yeah. There's her to consider. There's also, I have a vision of, don't get me wrong, heading down around Europe and doing a lot of jive, but initially for the next couple of years, we're probably going to be doing a lot of Ireland and a lot of Scotland. And I just know the little roads that we have up there and wild camping, and I'm really, really worried that going for a massive big proper motorhome albeit under 6 meters, is just not going to allow us to get the freedom that I personally want the camper van for. Whereas I think you're more, I like it nice and big and sexy inside.
I like to be able to have a bit of space to move around, because I know I'm not the tidiest person, and I think me in a confined space with you, I would really annoy you if it's too small.
And then part of me goes, maybe we should just spend a couple of grand on a really old, crappy, small doofer and just go and have a bit of fun for a year and see where we are in a year's time. Anyway, we're having a bit of a break. We're having a Coke. We're going to go and talk to a few people.
Energy levels. And then we're going to cry because we'll leave here not having made any further forward progress.
Anyway, catch up in a bit. Okay guys, here we are 3 months later, after we'd been to the Motorhome show, which was, I think you have to agree, a pretty tiring, exhausting and confusing day. We were almost convinced to buy that Bailey motorhome, and I'm not even quite sure where that came from. Why are you just sitting there looking like a zombie? Someone had turned her off.
I think we were just worn down by all the choice, and we just got in there and thought, yeah, this will do, and then had a drink and came to our senses.
Doesn't normally happen that way. So we flew home, and over the next couple of days, well, next couple of weeks, we pretty much decided that we didn't want to go for a motorhome, like a sort of A-class, a low profile or whatever, just for where we wanted to go to. I finally convinced Nicola that the whole point of getting the sort of camper van was to go places, not to sit in caravan sites. So we ruled out the motorhome, and we fully ruled in a sort of camper van type thing, either a panel van, or we had seen an
auto sleeper symbol.
Yeah. So
which actually I really like, because it was a panel van, but it had kind of a motorhome inside feel to it.
Yeah. Now it was 16 years old, 17 years old?
15.
15 years old. Now we are not mechanically minded whatsoever, but it looked like it was in really good condition. It was a 2 single bed, basically rear kitchen, shower, toilet, had kind of everything that we wanted, sub 5.5 meters as well. Questionable interior decor, but it had everything, and we were this close to getting it. He threw in some really, really good deals, and we were this close to getting it. And then we kind of said, okay, if that's what we really want to go for, maybe we should go for something a little bit newer. Okay, we're going to have to pay a little bit more, but if it's a 15-year-old van, in 5 years' time it'll be a 20-year-old van. And will a 20-year-old van still be reliable for us, given the fact that we don't really know anything about vans? So again, we kind of came all the way back again. But we said, right, it's the auto sleeper symbol. So we then spent about a month looking on eBay and on Auto Trader.
We actually started stalking people with auto sleepers.
We did. We actually parked outside someone's house, and we're like, "You go and ask her. You go and ask her." And it was like, no, we ended up just getting told to go away because we were freaking out the neighbours. So auto sleeper, that's what we want to do. We then decided to go down for our monthly. Well, you do it more than every month, but at least once a month we go out and we do an open water swim in the very cold Irish Sea. Irish Sea.
North Atlantic.
That's the one. And during that, we had a conversation with one of our friends, and she said, "Here, you should go and check out so and so who does camper van conversions." Okay, cool. So it was a Monday, was it? Yeah, it was Monday actually. Yeah, we were driving down. There was a beautiful sunny day, and I gave him a ring while we were driving down, and I said, "Shane, we're thinking of getting a motorhome converted. You do that, yeah?" And he went, "Actually, I only do VW conversions." Well, we had ruled out VW conversions or VW vans from the get-go.
I think this was mainly because I wanted more of a motorhome feel, And I kind of really wanted a washroom, shower, toilet, etc. And just wasn't really compromising initially, but we still said we'd go and have a look, didn't we?
Yep, we
But
said
I wasn't convinced at all. Not
we
at
said
all.
we'll go down, we'll take a look, and see what we think of them. That was probably the worst
Yes.
decision we ever could have made, or maybe the best decision we ever could have made, because we literally fell in love with it, and we basically talked through our requirements. We didn't want a pop top. Everyone kept saying to us, "Oh, if you don't get a pop top, you'll be able to get into, car parks and barriers." But we want that extra space. So we discussed it with him. We talked over what we wanted. He sent us back really good guy. I'll put a link in the YouTube video. He sent us back a quote, which, let's just say, it was. We knew it was going to be more expensive than what our original budget was for many months ago. This was quite a bit higher than that. But we just couldn't shake the whole feeling of, hang on, this looks perfect for what we want. So we went back and forward a couple of times with him on the quote.
The funny thing was, we went back and forth trying to save money, and then the more we talked about it, the more we kept adding things on. And we ended up actually getting an even higher quote.
Yeah. Basically, what we're looking to do in this, we're looking to spend, as I mentioned before, it'll be the three of us, myself, Nicola, and our cat, who's obviously either sleeping or eating. That's all she does. We're going to be spending at least 6, maybe 7 months in the van, not contiguously, while we're here, while Guinness is alive, but certainly over the course of the next year. Good 6 or 7 months in it, several weeks trips at a time. Once Guinness, she's 17, once she pops her clogs, although she's probably going to live till she's 50, we're hoping to spend a longer period of time in Europe. So we kind of said, well, let's not compromise on that. Let's not compromise on that. And of course, then the dollar sign went up and up.
It is amazing though how much you can fit into one of those vans, and how much you can customise it for exactly your own requirements.
Yeah.
You can pretty much get around any issue you might think you have.
Yep. And what really sealed the deal for us, we were over in Scotland, actually staying in a hostel in Glencoe, and we were driving up the west coast, just sort of bimbling away up to Malag, and I was driving, and Nicola was looking out for wildlife and whatever, and next thing she was like, stop, and I was like, oh, she's seen something like a whale or something, like, what is it? And she was like, it's a high top V-dub. Whoa. So we basically ran over, and I think for the first few minutes scared the life out of these people. They were a lovely little secluded beach, and we went in, had a chat with them. They made us a cuppa.
Very nice cup of tea.
CamperVan people are fantastic, and they basically convinced us that yes, the fixed high top is the way to go. And so we came home, and
what is interesting is, even though we had an idea of exactly what we wanted, going in and seeing somebody else's and talking to them, we actually then came away and changed our spec again, didn't we? Just by seeing what had been really useful for them and what things made a difference, just a better quality of time in the van. So if you can, it's really worth looking in other people's vans.
Which we have done a lot of.
We have.
Even,
have a good nose round.
Even just yesterday, this old couple were kind of in there making their lunch, and we were like, hello, can we look in your van, please? But basically, now we haven't put down a deposit as such, but what we have done is we've put down kind of a holding fee to get our name on the conversion list. We're in the process of selling up a property over in Cambridge, and hopefully buying a property over here, and then we hope to pick up the van. Now it's still going to be a number of months before we can get the van, but we have gone for a VW, which I never thought we would. It's a T6. It's
a combi, T6 combi.
T6 combi,
yeah.
with a factory fitted high top and all of the bells and whistles. We think we're going to be going for silver, metallic silver. And obviously, next sort of video that we have maybe on here relating to the van, we'll maybe get to see it when it rolls into Shane's place for the conversion. But we're really excited. We really want to get away and do this. This is something we've talked about for quite a bit of time. We kept kind of putting it off because we said, okay, when Guinness finally pops her clogs, we'll get travelling. We finally realised that we were going to have the oldest cat in the world. So it's time to travel now, and she's coming with us. So yeah, so we've gone from motorhome to A-Class to bongo to campervan to auto sleeper to, and never along the way did we think that we would be VW. But seeing inside a VW and seeing what you can get from a conversion perspective.
And if you're lucky enough to be able to get a new one, obviously you can choose the colour and interior and everything that you want. And there's so much choice, and you can just make it look amazing. I mean, I've spent hours looking at the interior designs, and we've changed our mind about all sorts of colours and everything. So it's just amazing what you can do with them.
So there we go. We have finally decided, and hopefully by October of this year, we will be able
That's
to.
the only downside about getting the combi. It's a 3-month wait for the van. So.
Yeah. Wait for the van, and then need to get it converted. But hopefully by the autumn time, we will have our first venture out in it together.
We'll be trying out the heating at that time of year in Northern Ireland, I guess.
We'll be trying out lots of things, including the little porta potty
and the outdoor shower.
shower. So we're just going to
be. You can get a tent for that, so don't be put off.
We're just going to be hobos. Right, guys, hope you enjoyed this little sort of journey across our sort of trying to make our minds up in terms of what van to go for. And, well, I guess we'll catch up when the van finally rolls off the production line.
Yep.
All right. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, thanks ever so much for your help so far. We'll be in touch again soon. Lovely, thanks. Bye.
What did we just do?
I think we just ordered a VW campervan.
Boo-hoo!
Shit. Oh.